The first clip we saw was you playing Katherine Jackson, the matriarch of the Jackson family. I'm obsessed with your performance in this series because early on we find out that she has polio, and if you were to watch your performance, that you carry through the polio in every scene. Can you tell us about how the fact that she had polio, how that helped you build the performance?
Yeah, she developed that as a young woman, you know, in her teens, and it makes her vulnerable, but she's also very compassionate and giving. You know, she's shy. She's shy about it, you know, about the way it appears. So, you know, she just puts all of her love into her children and into her family. Yeah, I really went to town on Lawrence in that. I remember my arms being very tired because I was slapping for real.
And I heard you say that scene was improvised?
A little of that was improvised with the whole, I don't want you, you know. Yeah. It was, you know, just channeling how would that feel. And that was seemed to be a change in their relationship. I mean, they could go on to live together and to be together, but it was a change in the dynamic of the just love, you know, in terms of the love relationship and being there. It's more of, you were parents, here's the business, this must be done.
When this miniseries came out, there were starting to be allegations against Michael Jackson. Did anybody tell you, do not do this?
Funny enough, my agents at the time told me to. I mean, it was crazy because they said, here's an audition. Go to the audition. Okay, go to the audition. Audition well, got a call back. Go to the audition. Audition, got another call back. And then it was, you know what? There's a lot of allegations about Michael in the press, and we don't think you should do this. We don't think you should do this project. And listen, the Jackson 5, when I was a little girl in St. Petersburg, Florida, you know, black people on TV, they were one of the people. They were like the first concert I ever went to, you know, as a little girl. I mean, I had posters on my wall. It was like, and here's one of them in the room, you know, auditioning me to portray his mom. This was a crazy, you know, a trip for me. And I remember telling my agents, no, I'm not playing. I'm not going out for the role of Michael. I'm going out for the role of their mother. And no matter what, whatever the allegations or whoever or whatever we think, one thing is true that I believe, that I can see, is that they adore their mother. They revere their mother. And that, a reverence for motherhood, for mothers, that's what I want to put out into the world with what I do. So I said yes to it. I said yes to that opportunity. It was great. Those kids were phenomenal. I think there were 5 sets, you know, because they had to grow from little kids to grown adults, and they were magnificent. And they really were my teachers in what I had to do later, because Tina came after that. They sang, they danced, they acted, and they had to go to school. I didn't at least have to go to school, you know, and that was enough for me. Yeah, and then it went on to have like 40 million viewers.
Correct.
We don't get those kind of eyeballs on a show today, but yeah.
But one of the things that I also love about Katherine Jackson, which ties to a lot of the characters that you have played, that on the surface, they're kind and gentle, but doesn't mean that you're weak.
No.
And Katherine Jackson, yes, she's kind, she's gentle, but she's tough.
Yeah, very tough coming from Gary, Indiana. I mean, they would, you know, trying to raise 9 children on one salary. You know, they're picking potatoes out of the field, that sort of thing. She held her family together, and they still, to this day, there's no one like her. No
You
one
may
like
not
him.
have worked with him in the Jacksons, but Michael Peters, the choreographer,
Oh, yeah.
he choreographed
the choreographer
and then
for-
he went on to choreograph you in
Oh, yeah.
What's Love Got to Do with It.
Yeah, Thriller. Yeah, he did the Thriller, in the red jacket and all of that. And yeah, it was exhilarating. I mean, to work with, he was famous in choreography. But he was also, that was the early days or the middle years of, he was dying of AIDS. So he was sick. So a lot of time while we were working on that, he would have to take a nap and lie down. And his assistant, Eartha Robinson, would put me through my paces. So he'd show me what he wanted me to do. We were at his apartment, in a little room with mirrors everywhere, and I remember Tina coming there one day, and Michael, just let her learn it without before she puts the shoes on, the heels on. And I was like, thank you, my angel. He's such a hard taskmaster, Is this how they do it on Broadway? I mean, just, oh my gosh. But yeah.
One of the reasons why I wanted to show that clip from What's Love Got to Do with It is because when you run, you don't run like Angela Bassett. You run like Tina Turner in that movie. The specificity of the physicality of your performance is impeccable.
Just running for my life. I don't know how I did it with heels on. I mean, I didn't put sneakers on, and fake it like time for the sneakers. You see the feet, but I remember, and that was production where we did scenes so many times. The guy who Chi McBride would say they could just put X's over our eyes and we'll look like those little cartoon characters, like on the side of the road. But I remember that night because we would do scenes over and over and over again, and it would just those concert scenes, literally you feel like you had a sweater in your throat after performing, and we would do it from top to bottom. And he said, okay, let's do it again. I was like, can an actor have a moment? Just 60 seconds, a minute, please, just to catch our breath. But I remember when we began to film that, I said, I'm running to God. I'm running to the Lord. I need salvation. I need help. And the other was like, I'm running away from the devil. So I will run fiercely to God and away from evil. And that's how I ran. And we only did 2 takes, and he got what he needed. The camera was rolling, the lights were perfect, and it worked. So it wasn't about half ass in it,
So
Full out.
you had to physically move like Tina. You had to learn how to talk like Tina, and also capture her essence. Tell us about that challenge of synthesizing and creating Tina.
Well, I was fortunate that early on while we were at Michael's that she came through LA, and got to sit with her, and I remember she brought some of her photo albums, looking at those little sepia, jagged edge pictures, and just going. And so there's a part of me that's here in the moment, but there's a part of me that comes out and is observing the moment, sitting on the floor, going through the album with her, and observing her energy. And I remember saying, "What's that? What's up with your face right there? What's going on?" She said, "Oh, I broke my jaw. My jaw was broken there. It was wired shut, or I had, blood in my jaw." And but there was no malice or, like evil. It's almost like she could laugh at it, like that was that, And I thought that was really interesting that she, even all that she had gone through, that she still had a buoyancy and a lightness and vitality to her spirit, no matter what, an unbroken quality to her spirit. So it's like, that's something to carry in the scenes. This is only 2 hours of a person's incredible life, but, and it's truncated, but that's something about her that I can use in the scenes or in the telling of the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Though you and Larry have these intimate moments of violence. And thinking the scene in the recording studio where he beats you and rapes you. How difficult were those scenes? I mean, you had a trust with Larry.
Yeah, it was difficult because that's such a violent act. I just despise, the idea of it. But Lawrence was so supportive, so very supportive. And sometimes, directors are different, and sometimes they all ask for the same thing. They just want to tell the story, but somehow how you, as my mom said, it ain't what you say, it's how you say it, And Brian would be really brusque. Brian Gibson, our director, would be brusque, with that English accent, very brusque with it, and I would think not sensitive to the moment, He would say, what about a garter? Should we have a garter on? And, Ruth and I had chosen the costume, and every day we came to the set, it was the wrong costume. The costume wasn't going to work. So every day, the day started off like, oh, it's not going to work. And of course, we're going to present this movie 3 months after we finish shooting, which was a first, because usually it's a year later when a movie comes out.
There was a deadline because there was Tina's...
It was her, a world tour. So they wanted this movie to coincide with this world tour. And so we're just hoping this movie is good enough to coincide with this world tour, because you're going to have this, comparison dynamic going on, and it might, you want it to turn out all right. But every day we would come, and so we tried to get smart and say, and take pictures. What about this is the costume for tomorrow? Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay, great. Whew, show up in the morning, horrible costume. And we'd be on location, and you have to go into your little truck and find something that would work. Or he would come in the trailer and say, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I would run off, my wig would be half on my head, makeup half on. Okay, and I would just run out like that. Okay, I'm ready. And then he would laugh. Okay. And it's like, yes, let makeup do what they do. Let the hair artisan do what they do. You get everything ready there. I'll get ready here. But this, hurry up and let's do it, when everyone hasn't contributed what they contribute. So it was crazy like that.
Was there a moment in the process that you...
Oh, and he would say we would do the rape scene, and we would, as I say, we were doing things over and over, and it is such a debasing sort of feel. And so Lawrence would say, Angela, how many times do you want to do this? Because Brian would listen to him before he would listen to me, to this female voice, this black female voice, who's just getting a shot. But something about that male-male dynamic. He would say, how many times do you want to do it? And I'd say, 5. That he gave me that he was concerned how many times. Now I say 5, but I'll do it till we get it. But I said 5. He said, okay, 5. And we would say, we are going to give it everything. We're going to go for it. I mean, I'm going to scrap and claw from, like, my life depends on it. Wow. And it does. And that's what you capture. He's going like he's grabbing, I'm going like I'm dying. And that's what, and the fish are floating by as if nothing's happening.
Wow.
Right?
Did you get to see the dailies?
I saw the dailies one time.
And did that give you confidence that I've got Tina?
It did, because, I had just gotten this film, and I used to read, a little daily, the reporters and, the magazines in LA, and you would see some disparaging comments. We don't, and you remember the bad things, don't you? The bad critiques. Said, we don't know what's worse, the dailies or the script. I was like, how dare they? How do they know this? How? The script was changing, the script was changing. The first script I got for What's Love, I was like, But I can't say no to this opportunity. This is a big spotlight's going to be on this. So, you know, the movie's opening up with a figure coming up out of the Nile River, and she has blue eyes, and she spreads these cards in front of this little girl. And she, yes, that was the script. It was like, this is terrible, but it's Tina Turner. Oh my gosh, people are gonna know put my name and my face together after this, for good or for bad. But the script kept changing. It changed from that, and they put her back in Nutbush and coming up and out of it. And also during the filming, Lawrence and Chai and myself, they would come up with little lines, I don't know, Doc. We got concerts, San Antone. I mean, he would just list off, cities or we in the rape scene when he say, "Okay, see y'all later," and Chai says, "All right, don't get none on you." Just adding little things like that. Or in the club, I knew when I grew up, it's in the script. It says, "I would like a Coca-Cola." I was like, I never said that. I'm from the South. We called it Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, So, you would just add to, just smooth out the dialogue and make it more, turn the vernacular more that's something that we were familiar with, and just gave it flavor. And actually, when we got into the ADR, they're following along with the picture and the script. Wait a minute, the picture and the script. No, it's not in the script. So a lot of it was improvised, but I think it made it better. Yeah.
So you were Oscar nominated Best Actress for What's Love Got to Do with It. What happened after? Did the phone started ringing? Opportunities
evaporated. Before then, I'm doing 1-hour episodic dramas, little television. It just sort of poof, poof, for about 18 months,
And how do you keep on?
Let me tell you, I was so exhausted after that experience. After the last day when she's in the limousine fighting Ike, that was literally a 25-hour day. 25. I'm telling you, everything on me hurt. But it was like, go for it. This is the last time. Kick him, slap him. But 25, I couldn't believe it. What kind of job is this? 25 straight hours.
Wow. And
I couldn't speak. You could ask me my name, maybe I could answer that. But I was just a limp noodle.
You embody Betty Shabazz and you embody Tina Turner. How long does it take you to shake that off, to just go home and be yourself?
Well, I don't think, Betty wasn't so hard. These are, our regular working day-to-day women. Loving their families. But someone like Tina is a larger-than-life rock star. And to embody that, that really is a dream come true. So the way she spoke, her laughter, the way she, tilted her head and looked up, the glitter in her eyes, all of that, I held on to that. I lived and breathed that. I would lay in my bed and play the music, oh.
You flip your hair and...
Something on my mind. Did she inhale? Or did she exhale? I was just nitpicking it away. And, and in bed before you go to sleep, it's like, it's something so sensual about it. I'm just a fool. I know I'm in love. What you say, get chills now. But that was a harder one to let go. That was a harder one to let go of.
Let's watch Miss Bassett in Strange Days, directed by Catherine Bigelow, and Vampire from Brooklyn, directed by Wes Craven.